I am here at exit 43 on Interstate 75, just before 675 if you're going southbound. This is the other location of the occurrence I was talking about that inspired in Dayton, Ohio. The title of the video that is posted online on Channel 2 YouTube page is Woman Hit and Killed on Interstate. It was posted Friday, July 16th, 2010, and it's of a lady who parked alongside the interstate. See, I heard that, I'm almost positive, on TV back in 2010. That's in my song. And I have that written down here, so my notes are not necessarily the best because I was trying to put this together yesterday as quickly as I could, and I spent the day doing it, but parked alongside the interstate and was hit. I'm not 100% sure where, but by exit 43. That's where I am. And the news reporter was Jordan Burgess. I don't know if that's how you say his name. And what gets me with this one is it says, on your side. Whatever it is that's connected to my head likes to do things in two. And on your side on the first video is with one end. This one is with two ends. The lady was hit by a semi-truck. It was in the center lane. Again, this is the second time that I know. I don't know how often this happens. I hope it does not happen often. Supposedly, she drove and got out, but at the time in the video, it was unknown why she got out. So she drove the car to the spot, and then she got out of her car. It appears the car was working, not broken. They were unsure of her identity at the time, and she was by herself, at least in the video they had noted. And it was I-75 near the 675 ramp. My one question I had with this one is, did they ever figure out how it happened? In other words, that's my question to both of them. Like, why it happened? What caused it? The Ohio State Highway Patrolman that I saw on TV that I recognized when I saw the YouTube video, as I think he was the one who was on TV in 2010 when I saw it on TV, was Sergeant John Jesser. My summary to this before I get out and get going is both of them were in the southbound 75 center lane. I believe the news aired on Tuesday, August 24th, 2010 in the evening and was a summary of both of them, but I'm not 100% sure. This is when it inspired my song. It mentioned the summary of both incidences and stated that it was the 1-year anniversary of the video aired on Monday, August 24th, 2009, which would have been the one I was just at. If that video actually exists, I would love the opportunity to see that, because that was the inspiration to the song that I wrote, and then for many different recordings, a very amateur-y state to making what you hear in Playfully Purple. I tried to search online and YouTube, and for me, with working on my music and everything like that, it was kind of very, very, very consuming for me to find information even up to that point once I started to investigate. And I tried to move on with what I feel is a dominant for me to serve that day. So, and that's how all this ended up happening. I could call the station again or try contacting the news reporter, which I would love to talk to, who covered both stories. I do have contact information. I did talk to the news place, and I spoke to Marine Police Department. I received an email from Ohio State Highway Patrol. I was hoping to have the opportunity to speak with the reporter, and I would like to get detailed information, and if there was ever a follow-up, more information that came about. Also seeing if there is any incident reports by the officers. Yeah, if there were any incident reports by the officers that took them. Okay, so I mentioned about that really quick. This I know. Whoever, whatever, can plug into absolutely anything, any device. Whoever, whatever, can plug into any car, truck, computer, anything electrical. I've been hearing about this since I was born in 1972. Okay? I don't want to get into that detail right now. In this report on the video, it says that it was uncertain as to why she got out of the car. The car seemed to be operating after the circumstance occurred, and my honest opinion, if that were to be true information, I would just like to inform whoever's watching this that a car can be shut down by people who have technology to shut it down. I don't know anything about this person, and therefore it would be an interest of mine, if it is possible, to know a little more as to whether she was a writer, a reporter, an attorney, a physician, kind of like if she was an artist, creator of some sort, an inventor of some sort. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to show this. I want to watch the video really quick of where it was, because I was kind of confused as to exactly where it was, and I think I'm here, and I hope I can have the opportunity to show this. I'm really excited to be here. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, or at least visit. I'm not 100% sure if I'm at the exact place, but it definitely looks very familiar. As the news reporter video begins, it appears this is the on-ramp to 675, exit 43 on-ramp to 675. And then a lot of this appears to have been grown high. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it kind of goes over in this direction. At this video several times, obviously, because I wanted to make sure that if I could get to the place where the news reporter was. Because I looked on Google Map, it didn't look like I could get much closer to where the tragedy. So I'm just going to show you over here. I don't know, and I have wondered when I looked at this on Google Map, this location area, I wasn't sure if it happened like right here on, I hear something in the grass. Anyway, it was over here by the on-ramp, like near that yellow sign there. Okay. As far as to where the car was parked, or if it was parked further down near the bridge. So where do you think that the car was parked? In my head, it was parked right over here. So I've driven down this way a bunch of times. Eventually at some point I heard it in my head that this is where it happened. Look how beautiful the sky is. We used to take that off-ramp to go to different places up 675, and also sometimes we'd come down 675. I had mentioned that there was a little bit of confusion to me as to if this was the incident, or if it did happen somewhere else. And then later on, the more that I started thinking about it, I started to realize that the facts to this, and even things that were said, things that were written, I mean, they're in my song. But when I heard the news report and mentioned about a semi parked alongside the interstate, that was included in the lyrics of the song. So it just seemed more like this is the incident that occurred. Because when I heard about the taxi situation, I mean, this is recent research, I was kind of confused because I thought that she had driven here herself, and the car seemed to be fine. And I've been going through a lot of bizarre stuff, so with that being said, I would have liked to know, was she suicidal? Did something else happen? Did something with technology or people with technology shut her car down? I know for a fact, as I go through my life, that they enter into all creation, whether it's a deer. They can enter into a deer, plug into the brain with the deer. I guess they can be the deer, and then they can jump out in the middle of the road. I know that they can plug into people's brain, and they become like robots. And if it's possible, depending on what she was going through mentally, they could have plugged into her brain and got her to rush out of the car and into the traffic for whatever reason that they would have. A similar situation happened to me on the bridge, George Washington Bridge. I stopped, and I shared that story, so I don't want to go too much deep into it, on the bridge. And I was traumatized, and I fell to the floor on the driver's side of my car, meaning my whole body collapsed onto the floor. Like it felt like I melted in a way, and I ended up on the floor because I was scared over circumstances that occurred. Ironically, which one of them was John? Was it this one? Or was it that one down there? Because the one who traumatized me the most at Motel 6 was named John, or that's what they called him, was John. And my brain told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but that was an undercover cop pretending to be a criminal, pretending to be an undercover sting operation type thing, to traumatize the adult entertainers, I guess, into either committing suicide or to deter them, like a deter program, to try to get them to stop posting ads on Craigslist, adult websites. So, much like the other one, I have a lot of commonality with this, but not necessarily the details. See, I was trying to bring myself into a healing. As much as I would love to talk more boldly and be more upbeat and happy and hope that I do not become emotionally distraught like I was the day I saw the video, on TV I mean, and then wrote the song, I was hoping I could hold it together because I've been doing a lot of psychological healing. I once was extremely suicidal, and then I came into realization that maybe I wasn't suicidal, but there was a military operation that was plugged into my brain, and they wanted to off me for who knows what reason. When I see 75, sometimes I think of the year 1975. And when I think of the year 1975, I think a song that was written, inspired by mine, my mother's, and my dad's relationship, my family, which starts off, I was only 3 years old. That 1975, because I was born in 1972. So look at this, it looks like a runway, doesn't it? I actually wanted to park my car here, and I can't believe that I got to do it. Because I was looking at this on Google Maps, and I was thinking, how could I get as close to what appeared to be the semi-truck pulled over there by the bridge without being on the interstate? How could I get close there, because this is the off-ramp, and I didn't want to pull on the off-ramp to do anything, so I wanted to try to find the safest, closest spot. I had to keep on rewatching the video, look a little closer, and see where it appeared that Jordan was standing. I figured if they got there with the news crew, the camera crew, etc., that there might be a possibility that I could get here. But don't take that the wrong way. I don't go following news crews around, and I don't recommend it, but with the tie-in with the song, and I wanted to kind of like finalize everything with that healing. I still love the song, I still listen to it, I watch the videos, and I might even someday record another version if I'm ever able to. Maybe a little bit different version, because I like to do that once in a while, but I'd rather move on to newer stuff. But I didn't want to feel that pain anymore, especially when I'm singing the song. I'd much rather be able to tell the story as I was inspired, rather than to not have have the ability to actually sing it if I ever did do it, especially public. Privately, yes, I can do it, but if I ever did it in a public space, I wouldn't want to break down and cry during the singing. So I have sung it out already at church. I sang it for different groups of people, LGBTQ and beyond, A, Y, and Z, all people. I thought when I was looking from Google Map View that it would have been cool if I could have had a drone, because I don't. I always wanted to include a drone into one of my music videos just to see a different viewing when I'm watching this. I was thinking it would be really cool, not in this outfit, but a really cool outfit, okay, with my car and my guitar near me and a drone above. Photograph. Not necessarily a video. I wanted more than anything to be used by God and not the way a lot of people talk. Well, God is using it. Much more magnificent than that. In other words, the Bible and all the literature I read and speakers I listened to, I wanted to be used by God in a very, very, very powerful way. Okay, we're gonna try this. I hope it works. It's my smartphone. Batteries are gone now. The memory cards are getting full. As I was saying, one of my biggest prayers was for God to use me in a way that glorifies God with my existence. I came to the place of realizing that the world itself, please don't get upset when I say this, has nothing for me. There is nothing interesting for me. And anything that I would like to have, I don't know how to get it. Nobody taught me that part. I guess we go to work. I guess we get educated. I guess we get trained. They got night school. They got trade schools. Then, chances are I'm gonna have to put a roof over my head. I'm gonna have to eat clothing. This is a new shirt I got at Goodwill. Thank you, whoever donated it. I want to thank anyone who sees this video, especially if you have real nice clothing. My size. I appreciate it. I get really, really, really happy when I find something. This is casual that I like. I like all kinds of clothing. This is really beautiful here. So, as I was saying, I thought, that would be really cool for like a promo photo. Me on my hood of my car, preferably washed up. Okay, real shiny. That black shiny stuff on it. Clear shiny stuff. For a magazine or a newspaper and an interview or a writing by me, expressing my words as I have in video, songs. Many people will say, or they bring up about relating with others. How do you relate with others? Well, when I hear something like this, I relate in many ways, not knowing one thing about the person, who they were, how they ended up here, but I know it made me really think deep instantly when I was in my bed writing this song about how many years I contemplated suicide and what way would I do it? What would be the most painless? And what if you still lived? Because the world's not changing. People talk about change. Transgender's been around since the first human being, since Adam and Eve. That's why God asks, whilst is thy hiding behind the bush? Why are you naked? Why do you not clothe yourself? Guess what? I never thought of it this way. But if I were to clothe myself the way I want to, I would be surrounded by police officers. Security, guaranteed. It would not be your typical human being. It would be obvious that I would be out of place. For once, I was a wee little person. My brain told me when I was watching TV, riding my black dirt bike, if you difference is one is real and one is an illusion. And you don't want to go through life being an illusion. You want to make things right. I'm here by the Toyota company. Making things right with God make it easy to submit to company policies. And the attire one would wear, whether an office job, delivery person, mechanic, sales rep, very interesting. It was not said to me exactly like that, but that's what pretty much has turned into. Did I add a little? Don't condemn me for that, but forgive me. This is your opportunity to exercise the Word of God in a very loving manner. I'm talking New Testament specifically. I'm very grateful. The lights are on. And I was hoping, because I did not know what was lurking around here, but when I came here, I was hoping that I would be able to get to this very, very spot. I do not plan on making a nuisance of myself with this. What I would like to say right now, as I say goodbye, which I didn't show you quick, doesn't this look like a landing strip, like for an airplane? It's pretty cool, look. Imagine now. Here comes the Catmobile. Before I go, words, a lot of times, for a lot of people, are almost totally irrelevant, insensitive. What is the point of even saying anything? Does a person really mean it? Does it sound like it? All I could say is there's a difference from when I wrote the song and long after, and in the healing process, even recording and making the video. Because in Dayton, Ohio, if I would have known when I did that video, I would have wanted to be here to make that video. Because it was a way of me sharing a testimony not specifically about the incident solely, but in my relation to, again, here, driving a semi. We're just, I don't know if you can see it now. And all the times I drove up and down 75. See those two lights? Right here? I'm almost positive that's what's in the video with the news report. I think so. How it came across to me, because the video was also clear, it seemed like there was either some kind of wildflower or weed, white flowery, kind of somewhere close. I forget exactly what they're called. There might even be some here. It's a weed. Where the concrete is with the black top, it kind of looks like a sidewalk there. I really like that. So anyway, I was actually hoping to come here even during the time that I did the video, which I think there was snow around, so a lot of this might not have been here, I don't know, meaning bushes, some bushes. This has a lot of leaves on. Obviously, they would be more bare, etc., etc. So I thought then you'd be able to get a nicer video of that, which actually I would have liked to do that then. And same with the piano, I would have liked to do that to include that. And somehow, some way, I would say that it's almost like I have closure with that song as a songwriter. You see, I wrote Nebraska. It's hard for me because the song was inspired by the one you're looking at. And especially in the Christian community, we are brainwashed that that is a selfish act and we should be serving others. And once you get into the Word of God, you realize how demented and psychologically ill most people are that share the message of God. In summary, if you believe in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, you're the one who gets into heaven. And when you get into believing in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, are you paying attention to what He spoke when He was in human form here on this earth? Love others as you love yourself, kinda to me, today is almost like people were fishing all day. They had the nets on the one side of the boat. They didn't catch anything. They came across Jesus, or did Jesus come across them? It's almost like they were passing by. As you see the visual in your head on the dock. Hey, what's going on? Basically, where's the fish at? Did you catch anything, right? What does the verse say? It says we've been fishing all day, we haven't caught anything. Well, God, I've been listening to sermon after sermon after sermon, reading book after book after book, praying after prayer after prayer after prayer. And guess what? Prayer after prayer after prayer. Prayer after prayer, and I'm not satisfied. I'm not being fulfilled, and I'm still poor as shit, and I'm sick of hearing of Christians who have money and I don't. I don't mind that they do. Have all of it. Take all the bloody gold. Take all the jewels of the earth. God showed me eventually I have become rich in many ways that most people neglect. For starters, my ass is fucking clean. Get in your boats, try casting, I'm not quoting it, your net, or how about it was more of a command, cast your net onto the other side of the boat. Ever wondered about that? The net, did they not have plenty? Once I started to serve the truth in my brain instead of the unknown truth, I started to realize why people would stop on a bridge and contemplate jumping the hell off. You miserable, miserable fucking son of a bitches. If you paid attention to 90-some% of what Americans say, even on the freaking television set, you would find out that they are the ones that Jesus Christ himself pretty much criticized, revealing the truth. They criticize themselves is exactly what he would say. Oh my, better off to pay attention to, what is it? The lumber, the pole, the tree, the plank in your own eye rather than the speck of dust in someone else's eye. I got lights on. Hello, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
You all right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, just check one.
100%.
Okay.
I just wanted to get a view of the interstate. I share blogs online.
Okay.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay. Are you somebody that works here?
Yeah, I work here. I just saw you back here. Want to make sure, just check on, make sure everything's okay.
Okay, fantastic.
All right,
Thanks a
thank you.
lot.
Have a good one.
You take care. Bye. Okay. I kind of like it here. You know, I don't know if there is any like super scenic, beautiful, kind of peaceful atmospheres. Okay, I like all this stuff. For people to go, maybe think, not necessarily in reference to the situation I originally came here to talk about, but being here is kind of relaxing. For anyone who appreciates maybe the sound of traffic, we have a lawn chair here. A nice place to maybe have a conversation, maybe bring a cooler. I spend a lot of time in my studio, always working on my music, and I love it to a point. Many detailed circumstances makes it very challenging. I'm gonna get going. I wanted to say and rejoice, Tracilyn, we found the two lights. Look how beautiful that sky is. That's an art piece, isn't it? See how it's flashing? I am extremely sorry for this incident. And I will say it again, not trying to be mundane, not trying to be boring, but for everybody that was involved. I just want you to know the lady who was hit by a semi-truck, I hope that God prevented her from feeling any pain in the head. Because I'm familiar at a time of a tragedy not to this extent or extreme. You can witness what is perceived a serious pain, and thank God. It's excruciating, but your brain gives you the ability to endure. Wow, that's all I want to say for now. I will fill you in another. However, situations, circumstances, incidences affect others that may be working on the interstate on a regular basis, whether it's an officer, whether it's a paramedic. I don't know if I would want to carry that with me as I go through life. If that was my occupation on a regular basis. I do believe that that song, this story specifically, impacted me greatly. That it had me psychologically break in such a manner that I can only relate to happening when I wrote Tragedy of Amanda. One of my favorite songs that got me off the couch is Find Me Somebody to Love, Freddie Mercury's version, and George Michael is what started it all. I just keep losing my breath. I love that song. I knew when I heard that song that something happened inside of me. Right during a time that I was finding more interest in powerful words, romance novels. For a short-lived time. In this song in Dayton, Ohio, one of the things that I was really longing and hoping for at the time is that I could find myself somebody who's confident in being a man that would dance with me to that song, like in a barroom jukebox. No one else but the bartender or owner, manager around. That's how I felt. That's what was going on in my head back when I recorded the video. I knew of people that would, but see, when I wanted to make music videos, I wanted to do it and be definite about it. I wanted to do a definite thing. And it's not me. I have overcome stepping into the light in many ways. Some ways maybe not. I don't know. Maybe someday God will show me some new areas in my own life. But in many ways, I have come to the surface trying to live a life that is more upright before the eyes of God. Though it may be distorted in confusion to others, my brain is thinking so. With that being said, in Dayton, Ohio, she did have a daughter. I'm really sorry. I realize in my life, for some people, if this or something like this were to happen, not even like this or another circumstance, I don't really know if I would feel anywhere near as much pain as I did for someone that apparently did what I wanted more to have the strength to do myself. I didn't know if this was a suicide or if it was an accident or if it was a killing. I don't know. Because if they plugged into her brain, then very much so it was a killing. And if you listen to the message in the report, the D is silent and it's how it's being said. I don't have it with me right now. I don't know if I'll remember to put it in my report, but whether it was her kill, she kill, the D is very silent. Please don't be upset at me for sharing the story. I'm sorry to the truck driver. I know that I prayed almost every day before I got in my semi-truck or when I got in it. Before I started to drive, God, please get me to destination A, B, where I'm going, my route, back safely. I do not want to hurt one person as I go through life, even when I race cars. But sometimes the way we live, when driving down the interstate, you might not submit to 70 as maximum speed. It might be 80, 85, or 90, maybe more. I would have loved to have a race car for quarter-mile racing, only I don't even think a quarter-mile race is even a teaser for someone like me. When I was with the person I was with, though I'm not saying I want to do it today, but back then I was hoping that I'd have the opportunity to fly in a jet. I forget how the conversations got going, but I wanted to be able to go in a fast jet because I wanted to know what that feels like for a period of time rather than just going down for a few seconds. Like, I really wanted to feel it, because in many ways I can sit on the grass bank if I have the strength and crack a beer open and drink it. There is nothing to do in this world. The second I start serving a heart that is revealed to me by the Word of God, I dress different, might not be pleasing to you. I wear my hair different, might not be pleasing to you. You got it? All of a sudden life becomes more exciting, and God tells me there's more than that. I probably should have been born into a home with lots and lots and lots of costumes and real diamonds, or at least adopted in, because isn't that what the Word of God says? God adopts you in, gives you a new name. Got the new name, am I adopted in? And to all the families, all the friends, all the co-workers, anybody acquainted with anybody here on that day, 2010, you got the two. My mind was really foggy. Was it Interstate 70? Did it happen closer to Columbus? I can't tell you how many times I wondered about that when I drove up and down. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it did happen on 70. Maybe it happened on 75. And then I find out, yes. I would say 100%, but most likelihood, yes, it is. And what I would appreciate, if I have time, I want to send more information to Ohio. I forget what department it is, but to get an incident report and see if there were any updates with that report, because I have more details, more information. And if there's anybody acquainted, whether you're the truck driver, the trucking company, the person, I don't know what they've done with the vehicle, family, if you see this video, please do not be upset about it. Know that I would value, cherish any amount of time that you would be willing to speak with me. I'm a friendly person. I'm not a psychopath. Obviously, public space. I don't know if Jordan does news reports anymore. I don't watch commercial television because I'm convinced that whatever they are, which might not even be human, we could be kind of like a toy to them. Each and every one of us, I mean. And if we are like a toy to them, okay, mental communication, maybe that's how things happen in our lives. Maybe there's multitudes of them. But know this, if you're talking to me, they're there. And evidently they can see through our eyes and hear through our ears, and they can plug into your brain and they can speak through you. And I wish that any public speaker would have had the balls to tell me that, because it made sense when I was psychologically assuming that somehow the people at LCBC, David Ashcraft, was invading my privacy throughout the week to write or be inspired to speak sermons. And this is what I found out long term, all these years later. More information. They can plug into anything at any given time and override it, and whatever that is able to do, they will at least be able to do that and probably much, much more. So if they were involved in this circumstance by plugging into her car, shutting it down, plugging into her brain, resulting in what happened, it also, if it's a military operation, being the truck driver at the exact same timing, they have shown me that they can be very, very exact in timing. So in other words, I don't know if it's always, but evidently everything is sort of able to be hijacked in such a manner that exact timing occurrences exist. They have shown me that this is true even in little bugs like cockroaches. My mom told me this a long time ago. I forget how she worded it, but she mentioned about the roaches. We had homes with lots of roaches. So there you go. Evidently there's life forms, not necessarily so talked about, all kinds of them, or human military operation that is kind of like clean sweep humans. They have whatever probable reasoning to do so with. I really like the way these lights shine here in the back. It's really pretty, isn't it? As the lights shine on in joy, the angels spread their wings, and the children are gathered round to hear that sweet girl. It's one of my favorite songs. Paul wrote this song. It's amazing how challenging it is to live in this world. When you think about it, and I go back in my own life and I stick to my own life, I was encouraged my whole life by many people to pursue music, even to move to Nashville or California, New York, and I had a real psychological struggle because I didn't see evidently what other people saw as what I would describe. And especially in the infantry stages, I think that struggle for something really tiny, newborn, is kind of challenging. Especially if it continues to end up in circumstances that are not nowhere near as loving as maybe they should be, could be, would be. And as time moved on, I realized a lot. When I came out here, when I was wrecked, psychologically confused, trying to figure things out, what are ways, being that it seems like nothing works out for me to live. And once I found out that I could get even the slightest financial assistance, a food card is something to really conversate over. I learned how I could get food. I stayed committed to my brain, psychology. I studied psychology for a decade and a half, and like some people play music every day of their life, I studied psychology more. That's all I did. Since I've been working on my music project, I have not gotten out at night too often. It kind of is weird to me, even now. Like, that's part of the reason why I don't want to leave here. I hardly ever get out. And if I do, I hardly get to peaceful, romantic places, which I have been yearning for years before I ended up where I ended up living. I don't yearn for that anymore. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do that. See that?